Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Real Money Matters. Rachel Kennedy here, and welcome once again. This is my third show, and if you're tuning in for the first time, I'm going to encourage you to call a friend, call a neighbor, let them know that Real Money Matters is on the air. We're going to deal with financial issues that are facing the world today. We want to bring it to your house and your level where you are and talk to you about how you can effectively manage your money. And there are so many things that affects money today, and everything you do every day, money is involved. So we want to learn how to better manage our money, and I'm so glad you tuned in. I asked you to call a friend, call a neighbor, let them know I'm on the air live now. And I have good news. If you aren't able to catch me live now, Mr. Kevin Lewis has made available so that you can tune in later at a later date on demand just by logging in to ItsWebTV.com. You can log in and you can see previous shows for everyone that's on the program. And I encourage you to look at the listing of good programs we have on. But if you know someone, maybe they're working, and that's a good thing. We need you to work. Keep on working. And don't look at it on your job. We don't want you to lose your job because you work, right? But let them know. If you hear something that's going to help you or benefit someone you may know, then I'm going to ask you to let them know to log in later. They may have other obligations, and they're not able to tune in live. But if you're tuning in, I'm so glad you did. And I want to ask you to get a pen and a paper. Who gets pens and paper these days? Get your tablet, get your notebook, laptop, and computer. And while you're listening, you can take notes. Jot down some things. I may say something that will spark a thought for you that will help you to better manage what you have, or a thought about how you can cut back on a certain area. So just listen attentively. And hopefully we'll say some things that's going to help you to get you into a better place financially in your life. I want to say how you can contact me as well. If you have any questions, I'd love to read your questions on the air. If you have any questions or comments or anything that we can share on the air live here on the internet, this is the World Wide Web. We are reaching anyone who has a computer and a connection, and that's where the world is going today. But you can reach me, and you can email me at realmoneymatters@rachelrkennedy.com. realmoneymatters@rachelrkennedy.com. So feel free to email me. I'd love to hear from you. Today is the last day of May. Can you believe it? Today is May the 31st. Tomorrow is June the 1st. We're going into the 6th month of the year. And you know what that means? It's time for Christmas. What? Christmas? Yes. Christmas will be here before you know it. We have 208 days until Christmas, and I want you to start thinking about that now, because I don't know. Some people are last-minute shoppers, and they love to go on Christmas Eve, but I'm encouraging you this year, be different, dare to be different, and start preparing for Christmas in the summer. They have so many deals and things and sales that are going on. Start putting that in your budget now. We're going to talk more about budgets later, because we want you to develop a budget that's going to work for you. And know that every month your budget is going to be different. You can't have the same budget. Things change from day to day, and that will affect your budget. Now, you have set things that are maybe your mortgage or your rent may be the same, and a few other things, but your utilities, unless you're on a plan, they're going to change from week to week, month to month rather. And gas prices in the summer, that they go up higher. So we have to budget. You may say, well, I'm only going to use $50 a week for gas, but when gas goes up, then that'll change your budget. Throw it off by $10 or $20, depending on how high the gas rates go. So those are things that fluctuate. And do you know gas prices affect your food as well? Because when people, they have to transport the food, so they're going to factor that cost into the cost of your food. So your budget can be out of whack every month. If you think it's going to be the same, it's not. And it's okay. That's normal. So we'll talk more about budget stuff. I just kind of got off on a tangent about budget, because that is my heart and my passion is a budget, because there is no perfect budget. You have to work it in order for it to work for you. So I want to encourage you, especially if you have children, get ready for Christmas. I remember back in the day, they like Barbie dolls and, easy bake ovens. Not now. They want all these expensive electronics, the earphones and the computers and tablets. Start saving. Start putting set aside a certain amount of money. You say, I'm going to spend on this one. Make your list. Make a list of people that you want to buy something for Christmas. Start thinking about it now, because sometimes if you wait till the last minute, you might leave somebody out. Now you have 6 months. You have 208 days to plan for Christmas. Why is she talking about Christmas in May? It's not even June yet. Because I want you to plan. I want you to think ahead. And I want you to know that these things are going to affect your budget. And it's better to do a little bit at a time and then to wait until the last minute and try to do a whole lot. And then you're all stressed out about money. For presents and things of that nature. And so even though Christmas is over commercialized, I do believe that, but it's the season of giving, and people are more generous and they want to give, but you don't want to give to the hurt your budget where you don't become homeless. You don't want to give like that, but you want to be able to be a blessing and help others and give and show your love during that season. But you don't want it to break your budget. You don't want it to cause the other parts of your life to go lacking. So just think about that. Christmas in June. Tomorrow is June the 1st. So we're going to slowly build a foundation of understanding money and the seriousness of money. Like I said, money is an everyday occurrence. Everything you do, every morning, every day you get up, there is a need for money. Whether you use it or not, there is a purpose for it. We talked about last week the statistics about 70% of consumers living from paycheck to paycheck. 70%, that's out of every 10 people, 7 people are living paycheck to paycheck. There are 20% of workers that would not be able to make a mortgage payment or a utility payment if they miss one check. So 2 people out of every 10 people, 2 people, if they miss the check, they wouldn't be able to pay their rent or their mortgage or their utilities or their credit cards. On the other hand, there's like 55% of people, of Americans, I don't know when to say people, but I know 55% of Americans always, or sometimes worry about their money. So 5 out of 10 people. So out of 10 people 5 of them are worried about money. And I believe it's probably higher than that because money is a concern these days. With unemployment high and the jobs are hard to find, with your job hard to find, and the bills, they keep coming. What do? How do you manage? How do you take what you have currently and cause increase to come into your life? So, yeah, we're going to talk about a budget later. Yeah, the B word, a budget. I talked about that in my promo. The B word, a budget. And I'm going to help you take the worry from your money. Take the worry out of your money by developing a budget. And basically, if you tell your money where to go, then you feel that you're more in control. Even if you're going to blow it, tell it, I'm going to blow this amount of money. At least you controlled it. It's controlled. It's on purpose. It's not something you just haphazardly do. And so those are the things we want to talk about this week. I want to review last week. Last week we talked about stewardship. The first thing is stewardship. And stewardship is the careful and responsible management of something entrusted in your care. And if you know what I'm talking about, it's money. Money has been entrusted in your care. You've worked hard. You've gotten up and you went and put in your labor and your time to earn this income. So it's the resources from that have been entrusted to you. So you don't want to just blow it. You want to be able to manage it properly. And you can be proud of, yeah, I did work hard, but look at what I'm doing. Look, I'm being responsible with my money, which is the next word, is being responsible, being accountable for your actions and your decision, your choices. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, whatever your choices are, own them. Say, yeah, I did that. I'm not gonna continue that way. So the best way to get away from a bad decision that you've made is to start making good choices. So the more good choices and the better choices you make, then you get away from that bad choice. But you gotta every day get up and change. You want to stop. You want to look and listen. You want to change your direction. And then accountability. Accountability. To report, to be answerable, and to justify why you did what you did. And I'm telling you, accountability is so big. You want to be able to find somebody you can trust, somebody that can be neutral, somebody that can help you to attain a goal if you know you're trying to set personal financial goals, and you want to be accountable. That's why so many of those weight loss programs are so successful, because they have accountability. You have a support system. You have a buddy system. Well, think about that for your money as well. Think about having a support system that will help you to be accountable. If you know that you maybe not as good with money as you should be, then it's okay. You can learn. You can still learn. But until you get to that place where you've learned to be accountable, have somebody here say, hey, look, I got $100 here. This is what I need to do. This is what I'm going to do. Say, this is what I'm going to do. And then be accountable to it. Say, well, here, these are the receipts for my $100. And I spent it on what I said, and I didn't spend it on something different. So accountability. So we're just talking about setting learning what stewardship, how to manage. You worked hard, so you don't want to just to let it go out the wind. And I tell you, money will just flee away from you if you don't tell it where to go. It'll just leave without your permission. So you want to keep your eyes on the responsibility, accountability. If you have a spouse, you can talk to your spouse, and if they're not acting right, you maybe want to talk to somebody else. Get a friend, a parent, a financial consultant, someone that's going to help you be accountable until it's like baby steps. We're going to start off with baby steps. You're going to, just take one step at a time, handle one thing, and then we'll do the next thing. It's going to be like a juggling act, because, you think about all your finances and all where you are, and you think this is overwhelming and I don't even know where to start. Well, we're going to start with tracking your income, knowing even what you bring in, and we'll get to that a little later. We talked about setting financial goals. The key to setting financial goals is you must make it practical. It's got to be reachable, attainable. You got to be able to see the end has to be clear. You be able to see. You have to have a means to an end. Doing this will pay off later. Set your goals. Set them small. Get something you can do. I would say even less than a year, maybe in 6 months, but you got to allow time. Always allow time. Don't think you're going to solve the world's problem in 1 hour, and it took you 20 years to get there. So wherever you are financially, you didn't get there yesterday. It was a process. And every day you got up and you chose a different a way of handling your finances. And a lot of times we weren't even taught, and we didn't even have an interest to learn until we got on our own. And then, once a child leaves home, then they want to be responsible. Then they want to cut off the lights. Or they want to, manage their groceries and not pay them, use them all, eat them all up in the same day instead of let them stretch out for the week. So, those are things we talk about. Last week, I did do a scripture in Habakkuk 2:2-3, and that was such a powerful thing, and I think we should use that as pivotal in as far as setting goals. And it said, I'm going to read it out of the Message Bible, because I like that version. It kind of has everyday language. And it said in Habakkuk 2:2-3, it says, and then God answered, write this. Write what you see. So we're talking about writing down your vision and making it plain. And I'm going to relate that to a budget. Write it down in big block letters so it can be read on the run. This vision message is a witness pointing to what's coming. So your vision, your goals, they're going to point to what's coming, give you something to reach for. And it's got to be attainable. Remember, it's got to be attainable, and it's got to be believable, and it's got to be real, and you have to be honest. The vision message is a witness pointing to what's coming. It aches for the coming. It can hardly wait. The vision, when you write it there, it's like, okay, let's get it. I want to come to pass. I want to do it. But you got to wait on it. It aches. It wants. Once you write it down, it becomes almost like law. You wrote it down, so that means therefore it is. You've written it, and there it is. It's got to come. And so when you've written it down, that makes you aware of it and not just saying it. It makes it in black and white. It's like, I wrote this. These are my goals. This is what I'm going to do. And so it aches for the coming. It can hardly wait. And it doesn't lie. When you write it down, it's going to say what you said. It's not going to say anything different than what you said. If you said, I'm going to pay off something in 6 months, it's there in black and white. Now it's up to you to make sure that it happens. If it seems slow in coming, I'm getting back to the scripture. If it seems slow in coming, what? Wait. Just wait on it. It's on the way, and it will come right on time. So it may seem like I'm going to ever reach those goals, but guess what? Get up every day and look at that goal, and you look at it, and you read it, and you confess it, that it will. I will pay off this. I will be out of debt. I will balance my checkbook. I will balance my budget. I will have more than enough to come in and meet the needs that I have in my life. So it's important that we write the vision, that we make it plain, because it wants to come to pass. It earns it. It earns for it and longs for it. It wants to come to pass. But until we write it down, it doesn't become a reality. What you don't acknowledge, you can't change. So we want you to write the vision, make it plain, and watch it come to pass. Because you can do it. I know you can. It can. You can make it happen. And that, if I can drive home anything today, and I want you to get a plan. A bad plan is better than no plan. If you at least have a starting point, you have somewhere, because you can always tweak it and always make it better or change it. You can add, subtract, but you got to get it just right. And you have to customize it just for your life. Your life can't be my life because you don't have what I have. You don't have the income or the expenses, but you have what you have. So don't look at my life and what I'm doing, trying to keep up with the Joneses. Who are the Joneses? Tell me, who are they? You know, they may have, nice homes, nice cars, but you don't know what it's costing them to live in those nice homes and those nice cars. They could be home in turmoil because they don't have enough to pay it, and they're living from paycheck to paycheck. But you're just looking on the outside, so you can't judge it from the outside, how somebody's doing. You know how you can judge it? Is from their peace of mind. When you're talking to someone about life in general, you can tell if they have that burden of finances in their life. You really can. And most people do. As you can see, 5 out of 10 worry or are stressed about money. So we're trying to bring an awareness to you that's going to help you. I'm encouraging you, take it slow. Take it slow. I'm not going to ask you to change anything the way you're doing it right now. I don't want you to stop spending. However you're doing it, keep on doing it. But I do want you to start getting an awareness of what are you doing. What are you spending this on? What are you? How much income do you have? Have you even stopped to even accumulate it or even written down somewhere? How much money do you make in a month? So think about that. We're going to take a short break here. But I just want to put that in your mind and start thinking and hold that thought, and we'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in. tuning back in. I hope you had a chance to get you some coffee or your favorite beverage, whatever it is, and get your notes and call somebody. Let them know that Real Money Matters is on the air. We're live. And we're here to help you, assist you in taking the worry out of your money. We want to take the worry out of your money. I have a quote for the day, and I found this quote, and there's a lot of interesting quotes about money, and I just want to read this quote to you. And it says, a quote for today: waste our money and you're only out of money, but waste your time and you've lost a part of your life. Oh my goodness, that is just powerful. You know, your money, it took a part of your life to earn your money, but once it's gone, you've lost it. But when you've lost your time, time is so valuable. Sometimes you may have more time than you have money. You have to evaluate where you are when you concern your money. I think I mentioned that earlier when we talked about wages. In a previous show, I talked about wages versus income and how you get up every morning. You got to get out the bed. You got to drive or take the bus to your place of employment. You have to deal with difficult people who have special needs, you know, and you're doing this for a wage. You're earning wages and you're giving up part of your life. Just imagine if that same morning you get up and you decide, I'm going to go on a boat ride. Now, which would you like better? Let's see, work, boat ride. I don't know, weigh it out. What you think? You know? So, but your time is valuable. And so you have to value that. So I thought that was a powerful quote. I just wanted to share that quote with you for today. And I wanted to bring out something that's happening in the news today here in Detroit area. There is a Myers Thrifty Acre store. I don't know if you remember. I think they used to call it Thrifty Acre store. That was, I don't know where that came from. But Myers, it's a one-stop shop place. You know, we have the Super K, Walmart, Kmart's, and all of that. But Myers is daring to come into the city of Detroit. Isn't that amazing? That means more job opportunities. They're bringing 400 job opportunities into the city. So I want to say congratulations to Myers for recognizing Detroit is viable. Detroit does have means of income, and they will be supporters of your business. Detroit is a vibrant. It may be on the downs now, and there's some things that are going on in the automotive industries and other areas, but there is hope. People are still in Detroit. People are alive and well, and they have money. Money has power. Money makes a statement. So they wouldn't be coming there if they didn't think they would be profitable. I guarantee you that. They would not be coming to the city of Detroit if they didn't think that they would be able to be successful. They're not coming as a charity. They're coming to gain profit as a business. So they're coming to Detroit, and I believe next month. I heard it on the news. And so that's a good thing because we're having more jobs. And if you have a business mind, and we want to talk about that later, or let me just flow there since I'm here now, I wanted to have a business section in my program where we talk about business. And there are different business structures and things that you can do, sole proprietor, LLC, S Corp, C Corp, but we don't even want to talk about all of that. You're probably thinking, what is all of that? You know, I don't know about corporate structure, but you know what you need to know about? I encourage entrepreneurship. I encourage you starting a business. But you know where you start a business with? With you, with an idea, with a thought. What do you want to do? What do you enjoy? The best thing to do is to have a business that you enjoy, because you would enjoy doing it even if you didn't get paid. If it was something that you could do, think about it. If it's something you could do and not get paid to do it just because you love to do it, what would it be? Is it something that will answer a problem for someone? Is it a service? You know, do you like animals? Do you like to walk the dog? I don't know. You know, what is it? What is it that you want to do? Think out the box. You know, paint a picture. Some people pay a lot of money for art. You know, if you're good, and even abstract, it doesn't even have to be good. You could just throw it together, and it'll be like, yeah, that's art. It's on how you present it and how your presentation of it. So I encourage you to think about a business this week. Think about something that you would like to do. Maybe you're already doing it for somebody else. Maybe you're already working in an occupation or a field that you enjoy. Can you find a way that you can cause that to be a business for you, where you can get your own clients and do the same thing, and they'll pay you directly? think about that. I think entrepreneurship is so important. Do you want to do a service business? Service business has less overhead and cost, so there's something you think about. But you do have to think about license and fees and things of that nature too, depending on the industry you go in. Look at the market. Look at somebody that's doing something that you think you want to do. Or something that you can do, and you can do it well. In business, you have to be excellent. There are so many people doing so many of the same things. How can you be successful? When you think about, you have Burger King, you have McDonald's, you have Wendy's, you have a whole lot of other smaller chains that are not part of that. And what do? Burgers and fries. They all do burgers and fries. And then sometimes they'll add, now they're on this health thing, I'm going to add breakfast. Then I'm going to add breakfast. So you have to be able to package and market your business so that you can get clients. There are enough customers for everybody. But you got to know how to tune in and get a target market that's going to support the business that you have. And you're going to have to go far beyond what the norm is. Now, the brand name people, they have a branding and they have a franchise, so they're known for that. You have to build your own franchise, build your own market, your own brand. Let them say, hey, I'm going to Rachel because I know Rachel's going to do the job. Hey, I'm going to go because if I take it to her, she's going to do a quality job and give extra service. And that's what you're going to have to do as a small business owner and you're just starting out. You know what you have to do? You have to give them more than what they pay you for. Go beyond the service and don't stop it once you get paid. Continue to offer that same service because your best advertising is word of mouth. If you know somebody that you trust, say, hey, I trust Rachel. She'll do my books. I trust Rachel. She'll manage my money. We heard we had Bishop Wayne T. Jackson, the owner of the Impact Network. You heard him on my first show said how I managed his money. I've been trusted. I've been tried down through the years. Then I'm able to be a help in that area. And so they can call me. So you want to build a trust. And it takes time. And it takes effort. And you have to get up every day. And you have to decide that I'm going to be the best client. I'm going to be the best, offer the best service or give you the best product. And if you have products that you want to sell, perhaps you can make health food, or you can do health products. The world is so geared on healthy things. Think of something that you can do, something that can make the world better or make somebody's life better, because people will pay you. They will pay you. You just have to get a market. So that's all we're going to talk about as far as business today. I just want to put a bug in your ear. Start considering it. You can do something. I know you can. You might can tie a shoe. I don't know. Maybe there's a shoe tying business. I don't know. But, there are little things, quirky things. You saw the little things on the shoe laces when they tie them up for the children. They find, children are so marketable. Parents will buy everything for their children. Think about that. You may have something with children to do with children, whether it's clothing or it's a learning device. Something that's going to help them. Electronics is big. How can we break the electronics? How can we get children to interact with each other and get away from the electronics? So I encourage entrepreneurship. Please start a business. We'll talk more about that later in shows to come. Ask you to call a friend, call a neighbor, let them know Real Money Matters is on the air. Please email me. I look forward to reading your emails on the air. If you have any questions, any comments, any suggestions. Have I said anything today that's going to provoke thought to you concerning your finances, concerning money management, have you thought about ways, well, maybe I could cut back, or you've thought about ways that maybe I can save money in a different way? Make it a game. I tell you, it's best to put money in the bank. And I know I'm just kind of talking, but when you have cash money in your hand, it just leaves you so quick. So we want to encourage you to put your money in the bank. And in the future, we're going to have someone come in, a banking specialist, is going to come and talk to you about the importance of banks and putting your money in the bank. And banks are like the fast food chains. There are many of them, but that you want one that's going to have customer service that's going to cater to your specific needs. And so today we want to switch notes here. We're going to change tunes, And I want to talk about the purpose of money. What even is the purpose of money? Do you even know? Have you even thought about it? We trade our time and our effort for it. I talked about that earlier, about how we get up and go to work and we give up part of our life to earn it. So when we get it, what is the purpose of it? What is the purpose of money? Generally speaking, money is a tool. It is a tool to make trading of goods and services easier and more efficient. It's a tool in order for you to make trading of goods and services easier. Back in the day, I know they used to do bartering. They didn't even need money because they bartered. I may have a sheep and you might have some grain or something, and instead of us exchanging money, we would just barter. I'll give you my sheep for your grain, or I'll give you whatever you may have for something else. So it was an exchange. So money, and the purpose of it is for an exchange, and it makes it easier because it's probably easier for me to give you $5 than to give you a lamb. What are you gonna do with a lamb? But if you know how to get that hair off that lamb, it'll be a good thing. But in today's society, we use currency and we use money for that purpose. That it's an easier exchange. And then you put value to it. You put value. This cost me $5. This cost me $10. This costs $100. Depending on what you're purchasing, we have different values of the money. So the purpose of it is an easy exchange. We all have reasons for money. Another reason or purpose for money is survival. It is survival. You need money for food, clothes, shelter, just some simple little basic things in life that we need every day. So money, the purpose is a means of survival. It helps us to obtain the necessary things to live. And there's also a purpose of comfort. The more money you have, well, you could say you could be more comfortable, but if you have more money, then your basic survival needs, you can even get you have better food, get better clothes, better. But you want to be careful on the end of always doing better. You want to live within your means. You want to live actually under your means, if at all possible. Because there's nothing like having some money set aside for an emergency. And life happens. How many of you know life happens? You get a flat tire. You get locked out the house. You get a speeding ticket. Do you know a speeding ticket these days are astronomical? Now, how do I know that? Not because I got one. I didn't get a speeding ticket, but I did get a violation for turning on red. Can you believe that? I hadn't got a ticket in 50 years. I didn't know how to act. So I know I don't look 50, but it's like just a little thing, just a small little thing will knock your budget off. And I keep going back to the B word, the budget. It can take just a small little thing that will set you off and you just didn't expect it. That's what life happens. So by you living beneath your means and not spending every penny or even going over where you have what they used to say, you rob Peter to pay Paul because you don't have enough. You don't want to find yourself where you got to take from this fund to pay for that fund because you haven't planned. So we want to get you to a place. Rethink your spending. Rethink it. You worked hard. You gave up part of your life to earn those wages. So you want to make sure that you make better choices. If nothing else today, I want you to think about that money you earn. And I want you to think about, do I want to continue these spending habits? Do I want to continue to have less than enough at the end of the week? Am I tired of having more month than I have money? You got to get to a place where you get tired of that. And once you get to that place, then you have to make a decision. And once you make that decision, you have to commit to that decision. You have to say, hey, this hasn't worked. I'm going to try something new. Be open for change. Change is difficult. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be easy, but it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it when you sit back at the end of the month and you have a lump sum that you've been able to save, thousands of dollars. And it adds up. Start small, and it'll accumulate and it'll add up. Some people want money to impress others. I talked about keeping up with the Joneses, living beyond your means. Think about it. Money is control. People who have the money are in control. You ever seen a rich person? They show up somewhere and people just serving them, and what can I help you? Can I give you something? And it seems ironic that people who are wealthy, they don't have to pay for a lot of things. People just give them stuff. Isn't that something? That's called the law of attraction. We talked about that when Bishop Jackson was here. We talked about if you have money, money attracts money. And so when you have it, there's a look about you. There's an air about you. You can feel good knowing you have some money in the bank, money in your pocket, and know that all your bills are paid and you don't owe anybody. That is an amazing feeling. And if you're not there, then hold on. Keep watching. You're going to get there, because we're going to go step by step. Every week we're going to talk about ways to help you with your budget, and know that your budget is yours. It's not mine. It's yours. You're going to have to actively participate in the process. You have to be a part of this budget, and it's not going to be hard, but I'll be here with you every step of the way. So we're going to talk about we want you to effectively, and then money brings you freedom. Freedom, you can fulfill the desires and the goals, and you can help others, and you can plan for your future. You can plan for your children's children. College education is expensive. You want to plan, you want to start, tell them now. I think my daughter was in the first grade when I started talking to her about scholarships. She couldn't even spell it. She didn't even know what I was talking about. But I told her, you got to get a scholarship, babe. We need some help here, By the time she go to college, it's going to cost $50 million, and she's got to go. It's not an option. College is not an option. Education is not an option. You must get your education. But you can't count on that being everything, because nowadays a lot of people are educated and they don't have a job. So you want to look beyond that. You want to find a market. You know what's a good market? Medical is a good field to go into. People always be sick, believe it or not. You're going to have sick people. You know what else is a good field to go into? A funeral parlor. People going to die. I mean, those are two fields. If you can stomach all those kind of things that go with that. But there's so many options in the fields that you can go into. Think about reinventing yourself. Think about changing your profession. That's a thought as well. My husband went through that about a few years ago. He was a respiratory therapist. He is a respiratory therapist. He's been doing it for a whole lot of years. And then one day he comes home and gets this idea, I'm going to go into sales. Oh, okay. You're going to go, what? Don't you like doing, taking care of patients? But he made a choice, and he wanted to change his profession, and I just want to give that up to him, because at first I wasn't quite there with that change, because I was used to that check coming in, consistently. But he dared to change, and he went into sales, and now he's doing wonderful. But sometimes you got to make a change, and you got to make a transition. I might be talking to someone today who feels like, where they are now is drying up. Don't be afraid. It's a process. It's going to take hard work on your part. It's going to take consistency. You have to be consistent. Whatever you do, you have to be consistent. One thing my husband always tells me, slow, steady progress. We want all the big stuff to happen immediately, but it's slow, it's steady, and it's progress. And you want it slow and steady, because that means it's going to walk it out, and it's going to get there, and it's going to get there. If you get stuff quick, you can lose it quick. Slow and steady, you can appreciate it. You can say, wow, I worked hard. Wow, this taking me 2 years, a year. And I think the process took about 2 or 3 years, but it was worth it. It wasn't uncomfortable. We worked together, and it's always good to be a team, to work together. If you have a spouse, or if it's just you and you're a single parent, get someone that can be accountable to, that can help you and support you. Everybody needs support. Everybody needs help. If you can have a parent, a friend, or if you just have to get a complete stranger, or someone, not complete, but someone who's in that profession that's able to help you to get to that part. So we're talking about the B word, the budget. So this week's assignment, what I'd like for you to do is I would like for you to write down, that's right, go get a piece of paper right now and write it down. If you don't already have it, I want you to write down all your sources of income. I want you to write down money that somebody gives you that on a regular basis that you maybe haven't even told anybody. I don't know. But I want you to identify your sources of income this week. Take that time out. Your wages, what do you bring home? You know, the frequency of it, whether you get it every week. You know, some people get paid weekly. Some get paid bi-weekly, which is every other week. And you have some that get paid semi-monthly. What is that? Twice a month on the 1st and the 15th. Some people get paid once a month. There are different frequencies of pay. So write down what you get. Some people may get child support. You may have alimony, Social Security, all sources of income. Write it down. Write it down. And you may be surprised at that number at the end of the day, how much you make in a month's time. I want you to calculate it based on how much you make in 1 month's time. And I want to know if you're surprised at that number when you get that number. Think about retirement. If you own a business, income from that. Think about your regular income. Some people don't have a weekly paycheck or a bi-weekly. They're irregular. What is irregular? Irregular is someone that's self-employed. They don't know what's coming in after their expenses and after their clients may have paid this week or not paid this week. You know, you have real situations in dealing with self-employment. Another type of irregular income, commission. How many of you know about commissions? You know that 1 week, 1 month, your commission can be high, or 1 week it can be low, especially if you're in like auto sales, trying to sell vehicles. You know, the market is so not consistent. You know, one day they want to buy a car, the next day they don't. I don't know. But commission-based income is irregular. You have to be able to plan your budget because your bills are not irregular. They come every week, every month. So you don't have irregular bills. So you have irregular income. You got to learn how to work with that and your means of that. So do that for me this week. Write down all your source of income. Email me. Let me know if you're surprised by that number or you're not surprised by that number. I would be curious to know. Don't stop doing anything you're doing as far as spending, your habits. What are you doing? We're not even addressing that right now. Over the weeks to come, we're going to get into those habits, and we're going to dig into those sores, and we're going to open up some wounds, and we're going to bring some healing to your finances. Yes. So whatever you're doing now, but hopefully there's an awareness that you got today. There's an awareness that you have concerning, hey, maybe I do need to look at what I'm doing. Hey, maybe there is something to managing this money that I've worked hard and I've given up part of my life for. So hopefully we got you thinking about that today. Call me, write me. Oh, my email address, I guess that would help, is realmoneymatters@RachelRKennedy.com. You can email me at realmoneymatters@RachelRKennedy.com. And feel free to call in if you'd like to as well. The phone number is 248-996-8954. If you have any comments or any questions that you would like over the air, over the web, I keep saying over the air, but I guess the web is the air, all of it. But feel free to call in at 248-996-8954. And remember, you can always log in later. And if you missed it live, make sure if some of this information was helpful to you, just think it might be helpful to somebody you might know. Or maybe you're already in a place where you have it all together. And I applaud you, and that is wonderful. But you might know somebody that can benefit from some of these lessons and some of these topics that we're discussing on Real Money Matters. And I am so glad to be able to bring them to you each week. We still have some more time, but I don't really want to get into this big topic. I want to touch on it just a little bit. It's concerning your budget and the recommended percentages for your budget. What does that mean? The recommended percentage of what you spend on different kinds of expenses opposed to what income you bring in. When you have your income is like a pie. Look at it as a pie. It's a whole piece. And depending on who you serving your piece to, it depends on how you cut that pie. If you want to give a child some pie, you might give them just a little slither because they may not eat it or mess it up. But if you think about Granddad over there, Granddad want a big piece of pie. And he's going to put some ice cream on that pie and he's going to eat it. And it's going to be good. So you think of your budget or your money as a big piece of pie. I don't know, apple pie, whatever your favorite pie is. And so when you cut up that pie, know that housing is going to take up 25 to 35% of that pie. Most of your income goes to housing. That means your mortgage, your rent, your the maintenance of the house, the taxes, the insurance. Most of your income is involved in your housing. So, do you need to reevaluate your housing? I don't know. But these are just some of the things that I'm going to throw these out. We're going to talk more about them in detail next week because I am running out of time. But just a few categories and just your overall spending percentage. Now, it doesn't have to be this. These are just averages. These are just numbers that we're throwing out there to give you an idea of where you should be. It's always good to be less than that. Some categories may be more, depending on your household. Because some people who have a household of 2 opposed to a household of 5, then all those categories can change because you may not need as big a housing if you only have 1 or 2 opposed to 5 or 6. So all those things take in consideration. So your housing category, your overall spending should be 25 to 35% of your income. Your utilities 5 to 10% of your income. Transportation, how you get around, takes 10 to 15%. Health care, if you have to pay for your health care, 5 to 10% of your overall spending. Food, 5 to 15% of your income. Just think about these numbers. We'll talk more detail later. Savings, you need to at least put 5 to 10% away for savings. Your debt payments, paying down debt, 5 to 10%. Giving, we believe in giving, definitely. 10 to 15% should go to giving, charitable giving. Entertainment and recreation, we'll give you 5 to 9% on that. For personal things, 2 to 7%. I know I talked about a whole lot of percentages, and we just kind of hit and miss. Look at the show again. You can get those percentages. You can look at me on demand. But we want to talk more in detail about those next week. But remember, if you remember that your income is like a pie, an apple pie, a peach pie, peach cobbler. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I was thinking about some food. But think of it as a pie and think about who you're giving the slice to and how much of the slice do they really need. Does Grandpa really need that big of a slice? You might can cut his slice down a little bit. So think of it in terms of slices and how you're going to split up the categories that we need every day to live. All these categories are things that we need to live. And so everything that we do will fall into those categories. So I want you to think about that. We have a few more minutes. And I was going to take a break, but I won't because it's like I've been talking. And I have a lot to say. So I want to encourage you. I love the idea of thinking about it as a pie, because I think most of us can relate to that. Think about your budget as a pie. Get your family involved. Get your family involved. If you have a spouse, your children, my children are involved in their own budget. I don't get them necessarily involved in the household budget. They know in general that it costs. And she realizes, and they realize, that every little does a little. Everybody participates in the process of our household. And that's what makes it work. And that's what makes it good. Because everybody works together. And there's nothing like having unity. If you're a single mom, I applaud you. Keep up the good work. You're doing the best you can. Continue to make those good choices. You're an example for your children. So I want you to learn to manage your money as well, because they're looking at you. Believe it or not, our children look at what we do. They may not say anything, but they're watching you. And they know if you're not paying the bills, or if a bill collector comes to your door. I don't think they do that anymore. They used to come to the door, and the child opened the door, and you standing behind the door with your feet showing, and they're just like, tell them I'm not here, tell them I'm not here. You're not teaching your children good moral principles. If you owe people, don't avoid them. Address them. Say, listen, I know I owe you this money, and I want to pay you. Right now, I have to take care of my family, and I will definitely put you on my list, and I will make it my business to make sure I'm able to pay. Even if you just send them $5, if you send them $1, if you send them something, just let them know that you're trying. So don't try to avoid your bill collectors, and teach your children to say, answer the phone and say, Mom, it's the bill collector. Tell them I'm not here. And they hear you on the phone telling them I'm not here. No, we want to instill good principles in them. Take the responsibility, own up to it, and know that, we are all human. We've all been there. We've all experienced that. But guess what? The good news is you don't have to stay there. You can get up and you can find a place of financial release and freedom just by developing a budget, just by coming up with ways to cut back and to identify, what even going on. Many times you don't even know what you're spending. So I encourage you, make a decision. Decide today that you're going to take control of your money, that you're going to tell your money where to go, that it's not going to just leave without your permission, that you're going to develop a budget, and that you're going to write down a plan. Have a vision of where you want to see yourself financially, and write it down and look at it and review it every day. Get up and say, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be able to help so many people because I'm going to be financially responsible. Make a decision today. Commit to that decision and succeed. I'm counting on you. Tune in again next week, and I'll be looking forward to hearing from you. Call me, write me, email me at realmoneymatters@RachelRKennedy.com. Until next week, God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, you can always log back on and see us on demand. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, and we'll be back again next Friday, same time, 10 a.m. Real Money Matters, Rachel Kennedy. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy your day.